So here's North Korea, here's Pyongyang, which is the capital, and South Korea, and China, and Russia's over here. According to the CIA World Factbook, North Korea has a population of 25,115,311, with approximately 150,000 to 200,000 people in political prison camps. Their major industries include military products and mining. Many of the prisoners are in charge of making these items, as they are not ordinary camps, but work camps. Up until the Japanese occupation in 1905, Korea had been an independent nation. It was then split into the northern and southern halves shortly after World War II. After the split, the northern half was under Soviet-sponsored communist control. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about human rights issues. The first violation is not necessarily a human rights violation, but it's something that North Koreans are not getting that most of the world does. The North Korean government prevents news and information from outside sources from getting to its citizens. All media outlets are run by the state and receive strict publication censorship. The North Korean government does not want its citizens to view how things are in other countries and get any different ideas than the ones that they have been force-fed. According to Freedom House, a nonprofit organization, mobile service was introduced in 2008, but phone calls and text messages were strictly monitored. This means that no one can have conversations without being watched by the government. The next violation against human rights are the political prison camps that I mentioned earlier. These camps are much like the concentration camps in Holocaust. They have small rations of food, so many people end up starving to death. People are worked from dawn till nighttime and are often fatigued. People are exposed to dangerous means of work such as mining, logging, and dangerous agricultural work. They are not provided with adequate safety instructions or equipment, and many end up getting severely hurt and even killed. These camps lack proper medical care, so diseases are easily spread, and there is likely little to no chance of someone surviving larger injuries. Prisoners are not only exposed to dangerous work conditions, but they are also abused sexually and physically. According to a former prison guard, there is no prison term, and all prisoners are detained there until their death. Public executions are also often used to deter future crimes within the camps. The final violation against human rights is the North Korean citizens' lack of freedom of movement. The North Korean government does not allow its citizens to move outside the country except for very specific and incredibly necessary reasons. Citizens also have to check with the government if they want to relocate within the country. The government uses threats of forced labor, detention, political prison camps, and even public executions within these prison camps in an attempt to deter people from moving around and out of the country. The regime also uses more unfavorable areas of the country as a form of political punishment. People who move from North Korea to China are also often repatriated and sometimes even killed. So now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about something that's happening currently. As previously mentioned, it is quite difficult to get out of North Korea. However, there are many that do. There are people who go work overseas and send money back to their families. Unfortunately, it is suspected that a portion of this money being made by overseas workers is being sent back to the regime rather than to the rightful families. This issue has a possibility of being included in a human rights resolution by the United Nations in December. South Korea, Japan, and the United States are said to be working together to mention the dire conditions that many of these people are working under and the money being sent to the wrong people. So here's a couple images. There's one of 4 orphans who are starving, and then here's a picture of people being rounded up to be put in these political prison camps, and then here's an image that kind of shows the conditions that they're working in, how they don't really have like proper clothing, because as you can see it's snowing, so it's obviously very cold, and those clothes really are not meant for super cold weather. The NGO that I'm going to be talking about today, Liberty in North Korea, is an NGO that is based in California. This NGO helps refugees that have left their country and prepare them for lives in other countries in many different ways. They help to introduce them to other people, provide funds so they're able to successfully start their new lives, and show them how to do many different things that they might not already be familiar with, like learning how to start up a bank account or pay taxes and stuff like that. So overall, I decided to give North Korea an F for their human rights situation. All of these things I have just explained make for a very chaotic and unsafe environment for people to live in. The citizens are not being treated how they should be and are being used for their labor. North Korea has the potential to improve its human rights situation, but I think it will take years of hard work on the government's part.